Welcome to the Music Podcast. My name is Nick,
And I'm Fredrick.
and welcome Malcolm Bruce,
Hey,
a member of the band Son of Cream.
hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm really well, thanks. Yeah, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're doing our 13th show tonight of 28 on this US tour. So we're kind of almost halfway through. The sun is shining. We started off in the north of your big country, and it was freezing. Now I'm wearing a t-shirt, so I'm feeling good.
Oh, good.
Nice.
And what's the next destination, the next city?
So we play tonight here in Fort Lauderdale. Then we jump in the van and we drive to San Antonio in Texas.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
like a 20-hour drive. But we have 2 or 3 days to do that before we do. I believe it's 3 shows in Texas, and then we head to Arizona for a couple of shows in Phoenix, and then we kind of head across to the West Coast, California, Southern California, then up through Northern California. So we're doing like a big circle, really. It's we're taking in all the time zones, and it's an amazing. I've done this a bunch of times now in different bands, so I've kind of just always discovering new stuff about this country. It's incredible, really. There's just so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
different things going on. So.
So what made you want to start a band with your ancestors, like music?
Well, I mean, I've known Kofi Baker, who's the drummer. So he's Ginger Baker's son. So
Yeah.
I've known him since we were like teenagers, and we've done a couple of projects over the years. And this opportunity came up. We have, you know, we got some interest from an agent in the US and some people in Europe as well. So it was just there was interest in it, and so we pursued it, and we've gone through a few different changes, lineup changes. Now we have a really cool band with um, Ginger Baker's grandnephew.
Yeah.
He's on guitar. I play a bit of guitar in the set as well, because I play guitar and bass, etc. So yeah, I think there's lots of reasons. It's part of our lives. We grew up with our dads and learn from them, so it's kind of easy for us to play this music. It's exciting. It's a lot of it's based on improvising, so we keep it fresh all the time. Um, we're not a tribute band in the sense that we're playing it exactly as they played it.
Yeah.
We're sort of reinventing it, keeping it fresh and new. So yeah, it's exciting.
Did your did your dad ever get to see this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, actually, years and years ago, I was thinking about this. One of the first times I worked with Kofi, we were playing a small club in Denver, Colorado, and my dad was touring at that time with Ringo Starr in his all-star band,
Oh,
and
wow.
they were playing Red Rocks, which is the famous legendary Red Rocks
Yeah.
in Colorado. And so he played his show, and then he came down to this little club and he sat in with us. So there've been lots of different times over the years that my dad met Kofi, and we even did a couple of gigs together with him very early on when we were starting out. So yeah, he never got a try. He passed away 10 years ago now, but
Hmm.
so he never got a chance to see this latest
Yeah.
project. But certainly he knew Kofi
That's
well.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
Yeah.
what is your favorite song to perform of your ancestors?
Wow. I mean, they're all so different. It's difficult to to think of just one, but I mean, I like a song called "We're Going Wrong." It's a super simple song. My dad wrote it. He basically had an argument with my mum and sort of stormed out of the house, and then this kind of song came to him. But the lyric is really interesting because even though it's originally based on like a personal argument between a married couple,
Yeah.
kind of takes on more of a sort of universal meaning, like social commentary or something. So it's quite an emotional song to sing, and it's very open-ended, so you can just really go off on a musical journey with it. But so many of them are great. There's just so many different songs. I mean, I've said this in interviews before, But you know, the band was together less than 3 years, but they wrote so many different songs, and they also covered a lot of classic blues songs by people like Albert King or Willie Dixon. You know, the people that they admired when they
Right.
were coming up. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of eclectic and a lot of different things to choose from.
What is your most popular song that you have to this date right now?
Well, I mean, they're all so different, but I mean, I guess, you know, we normally do Sunshine of Your Love as an encore, and
Yeah.
that's, you know, probably Cream's most famous song. There's also White Room, there's Crossroads, which is, you know, Robert Johnson. Um, so all of those kind of the best known ones go down well. But having said that, it's also all down to the night, you know, because as I said, we we sort of make it up as we're going along. So each time we perform it, we kind of go off on our little journey, and you know, each time it's different. So sometimes the audience respond in different ways, you know, depending on the night. Um, so yeah, it changes up.
Yeah.
Sometimes people love different songs depending on the night.
Yeah,
That's
I know you have performed with like tons of other people. Who's one of your favorite artists that you've performed with?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I have a daughter, and she's in London writing songs. So you know, I love to perform with her. Obviously, that's exciting, and
Yeah.
she's super talented. We're working on her first EP at the moment. She's writing these amazing songs, so I always love to do stuff with her, of course. But yeah, lots of different people over the years that I perform with. It's hard to really pinpoint. You know, I've had the good fortune to work with all kinds of people and appear on records with different people. So yeah, hard to think of just one. You know, and every day is a new day. I kind of try to stay humble in this process of being creative, and it's not always about the famous names or things like
Yeah.
that. You know, those things come along if you have a career in the business, I guess. And I'm fortunate to have that connection with my dad, so it's opened certain doors. But it's all in each moment, and every day I'm learning something new. So you know, for me, it keeps me humble just and grounded just to focus on the creative aspect of things rather than name dropping. But you know, sometimes it's good to name drop too.
right, right.
Yeah. Have
So, I was gonna ask, have you ever wrote in any like music for any big artists? Like any big producers or that you wouldn't mind working with again?
Yeah, I haven't really written stuff for other people too much. I released my first solo album a few years ago that I recorded in Nashville. Um, but I've worked with lots of different people. You know, my friend Kevin McKendry was involved in that record. He has a studio in Franklin, Tennessee. That's where I recorded my last record, and he's worked with all kinds of people, from like John Oates from Hall and Oates
Oh
to
wow.
Delbert
Wow.
McClinton. He was with Delbert McClinton for many years. So when I stayed with him and I was making my record, I got to hang out with and meet lots of people in that on that scene in Nashville, which is, I guess, from the outside, Nashville is sort of associated with country and
Yeah,
country
mostly, yeah.
pop, but there's a whole other thing going on there, like more roots-based music, more blues and blues rock, and um, so yeah, it was great to hang out with him. I actually chatting with Kevin some more about going back and doing something with him later this year. And that record was mixed by a guy called Steve Orchard, who he's Paul McCartney's engineer.
Hmm.
So,
Oh wow.
so there's lots of those guys that I had the opportunity to work with. And you know, if I have the opportunity again, I would love to. But as I say, you know, every day's new, and I'm always meeting new people on this journey. So yeah.
Did you ever get to work with Clapton?
Yes. Well, I'm on records with him. He guested with my dad on my dad's record called Shadows in the Air.
Yeah.
So I'm on a track with him playing rhythm guitar and he's playing lead guitar. So stuff like that. I've never actually played with him in person on stage, but I'm on records with him. And he's really lovely. You know, we don't hassle him, but you know, Kofi is quite close to him, and I'm in touch with Eric once in a while. So, sorry, I keep getting disturbed by people. I'm doing a podcast. I'm looking for a toilet. Sorry. He's looking for a toilet. So yeah, I mean, Eric's great, you know, but we kind of don't hassle him too much because he's doing his own thing, and but he's great. I mean, I just admire him so much. He's still out there making music, and
Yeah, he's excellent. I've seen him twice.
oh,
Yeah.
fantastic!
Yeah.
Yeah, he always has great bands. I think Steve Gadd is still playing drums for him, who's amazing. So.
Can I ask? So I have a what's the biggest city or the biggest crowd you ever perform? Like, how much amount of people have you performed with the most? What city where did you have the most amount of people at?
Well, I mean, we've done with this particular project a few years ago, we sold out a couple of, you know, like 1,200, 1,400 capacity theaters down in Florida. At the moment, we're doing on this particular tour, we're doing like between 400 and 1,000 numbers between like 400 and 600 on average at the moment. So it kind of fluctuates, but also we're talking to a record label about making a record this year. So I think, you know, we're just doing this on a kind of shoestring at the moment. We're just kind of doing it organically. But if we do this record with this label and they put a bunch of money behind it, then the visibility will be much bigger. And then we hope to be doing like those bigger rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, tonight, for instance, we're playing a 550 capacity theater in Fort Lauderdale, beautiful theater called Broward Center for the Arts. So, you know, it's that kind of level. But, you know, I've played festivals of 10 or 15,000 people before with various different projects. So, you know, I haven't played the Enormodome level of like 100,000. And, you know, sometimes smaller rooms are nice. You know, if you play in front of 500 or 600 people, it's a real buzz, or even 200 people, you know, it can be more intimate and you feel more connected with people. Whereas if it's a much bigger kind of venue, then you're a little bit more detached sometimes, you know, even though you get a bigger roar from the crowd. It's quite nice to be connected with a smaller amount of people sometimes, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Were you also in a band called Heavy Cream at one point too?
No, but I think I've heard of that. I think I've heard of, maybe that was more like a different, I think I know who put that together, an agent. I heard about that, but we did do a few years ago in London, I did a project called Heavenly Cream, and I did that with the Cream lyricist Pete Brown, who passed away a year or so ago. And that's a really interesting record that I would recommend people check out. It's an acoustic record of Cream songs that we did at Abbey Road Studios. That has Paul Rogers, Joe Bonamassa's on the record.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Yeah, he's great. And so Ginger Baker himself is on that record as well. So I would definitely recommend people checking that out if they go. So my tour manager just came in and gave me this note. It says, "I need you on stage in a few minutes for the sound check." So
that's fine.
That's fine. We appreciate having you on.
We appreciate having you on. And good luck tonight.
Guys. Thank you so much for reaching out and doing this. And let's do it again. I'd love to talk to you again.
I would love to talk to you again.
Yes, stay in touch with our publicist, John Lappin. He'll set anything up in the future. And great to chat with you guys. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You have a good one. Good luck tonight.
Thanks so much. We'll chat again.